All right, so I've decided to show you a little bit about the motorhome that we're selling. And instead of putting it in pictures, just throwing it up on the web, I thought I would put it in a little bit of a video for you. This motorhome, my father bought it a couple of years ago for $12,000. And we have put in a lot of really interesting and valuable upgrades. For example, I'll take you on a little tour here. Okay, we'll go view, full screen. Yeah. This is Zinsser. I don't know if you've heard of Zinsser. Zinsser is a kind of paint that you put on wood or walls or anything. And what it does is it's a mold inhibitor. Now, this wood was absolutely beautiful. It was in pristine shape. And as I go through the video, you'll see that the wood is first rate and it's all dry. We only had a slight little challenge in the front of the motorhome up above the decking, up above where the driver's seat is. And we fixed that. Our son-in-law and son, one of them owns Abbotsford Glass and one of them works for them. He came over and he sealed the windows completely, and we've taken a video of that. So you know how it's been sealed as well. Really, really important. So what you're seeing is the back window there, and that's the back window that we've sealed. And what you're also seeing is the original floor. Now, Zinsser, we put on 2 coats of Zinsser complete throughout, and it took us a month to sand all of the areas that we were going to paint. So there is the old carpet it's called the doghouse, and that's where the engine sits. So there was a lot of work that went into that. We put in new floors and new carpets, and you'll be able to see as we go along. There is the door. Now, I went down and got some foam specifically for doors, but I went a little crazy. As you can see, the foam is coming out the edges, and we just cut it off with a knife and then put the capping back on. So we took great care and detail when we redid the interior of the motorhome to take the windows out, or not take the windows out, but take the guides out next to the windows, the capping, and recaulk all that to make sure that it's completely waterproof and it's going to give you years of use before you have to do it again. There is the new floor, and it looks absolutely stunning. We got a color consultant to come down from Benjamin Moore. She does this for a living. She matches colors, and she put this color palette together for us. So it's a very soft, muted yellow on the walls, and for the cabinets, we've put in a nice bright white to make the motorhome look extremely bright and large inside. There's the new flooring again. Again, this flooring will last you for years and years. We had a professional crew come and install flooring. This is the lino, but they also installed brand new carpets as well. So you can take a look at the old flooring. Now, take a look at right over here, where my mouse is pointing to the wood. You're going to see just such gorgeous wood, and it's in such pristine shape still. We painted all this to seal it. But on the left-hand side, you'll see the tanks. One tank on the left-hand side in perfect condition, and on the right-hand side, there's another tank as well. These tanks have not given us any trouble whatsoever. You can see down here where I have the mouse at the second little metal ring here, how the floor is puckering. That's why we decided to put in a brand new floor. Now, this is the motorhome as my father bought it. Take a look at it. It's the old 80s dark wood grain, and it makes the motorhome look very, very dated and quite small inside, actually, and very dark. I was surprised when you take a look at some of the pictures that we've got on the upper cabinets. We painted them white, and wow, does it ever make a difference. There is the original shower. Now, since then, we have had Abbotsford Glass completely line the shower with aluminum sheeting, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Here we are. We've pulled out all of the old carpeting. That is, we've taken out all the seats. That is where the second table sits. That stuff was hard to get off, but we got it all off, and we cleaned it up for the people to come in and put in the new carpet. So we had to take all of that off and clean it up and paint it, by the way, when we're on the right-hand side. You can see the beige paint. Whoops. Here, you can see the beige paint right here, or the yellow paint. And we also took this we sanded this part down, the brown part, and painted that as well and sealed it. Okay, so here is another picture showing the doghouse where the engine sits. I'll show you with my mouse right here. And we've taken the chairs out of the driver's side, the passenger side, the other table, and we're preparing the motorhome for getting new flooring all around. This is a picture to show you to what levels and depths we went to sand the motorhome down. We used mechanical sanders and also hand sanding, and we didn't take it down a lot. We just took it down enough to take the finish off to make sure that the Zinsser, the paint that has properties, anti-mold properties, would adhere well to the wood. So inside this motorhome, you are not going to have wood rot or mold or water damage at all on any level for many, many years to come. Here's another picture of the old shower. And on the outside, you'll see all of the walls have been sanded as well. It took us a long time. I think the project took us about 4 or 5 months to completely do. There is the seating area for the table. Now, this particular table sits 8 around it. 3 here, 2 back here, and 2 over here. So, and this makes down into a huge bed at night. We've just had so much great memories of that motorhome with us. Now, you notice over here the really, really dark paneling right there. Okay, draw your attention to this. This is one of the reasons we decided to paint the motorhome. Right here, you'll see the wood is very, very scratched up. And instead of that old, and it was starting to date itself, instead of that old color, we wanted to make sure that we gave it new life. Again, here is a picture of us taking the seats out and preparing for the new floor. We went to great lengths to make sure that every little item in the motorhome was painted on both sides and completely sealed the wood. So we even brought in the little, these are little pieces of wood that form doors on the storage. Okay, so here we are. So we took the toilet out and completely put in new parts for the toilet, and that is a ceramic marine toilet, by the way. That is a really well-built toilet. And you can see it's got the original carpet right here. Oops. Okay, moving on. Again, you're going to see right here all of the sanding all the time. And look at the condition of the wood. Anywhere that there was a little tiny scratch, we would put in wood filler and sand it down again and make sure that the surface was nice and smooth. But that wood in that motorhome is just absolutely gorgeous shape. Here is another picture, and in here, even inside the storage, we painted that white as well. I just wanted to make sure that if we were going to keep, we put together the motorhome as if we were going to keep it. Hate to see it go. This is our second coat of Zinsser. And the Zinsser, it looks like white paint now, but it is true Zinsser. And once that Zinsser is on there, it forms a bond. Acts as a primer as well. There's another shot of the closet with Zinsser on it. And there's the driver's side. There's the original carpet down here. We had to rip all of that out right here as well and Zinsser it and then paint it down here. The upper cabinets, here's Zinsser. Remember how dark the upper cabinets were? That really dark brown. It made a huge difference to Zinsser them and then paint them. That's the last of that one. Let's go get another folder. Mechanical. Let's take a look at the mechanical. There's my father beside the motorhome, and you can see the awning. Now, you're going to have to get a new awning for it. The awning was used, I think it's the original awning for the motorhome, 1981. It really served its purpose, but it's getting some big rips and tears in it. So an awning is not that expensive to repair. As a matter of fact, you've got the aluminum arms still there. You wouldn't need to replace the hardware on the aluminum arms. Or across here, all you'd need to do is replace the fabric. All right, so here comes the really interesting part. On the left-hand side, where I have my mouse, you will notice that these are, if you haven't noticed already, they're coolers. And they have, behind them, they have fans on it. And I've wired up switches inside the cab, and one cooler is for the automatic transmission fluid, and the other cooler is for the engine oil. This engine, with this type of cooling system, will never, ever overheat. And I'll show you some more pictures. Now, this is a close-up of the pictures of the coolers. We had to put this bar in here, and then we had to strap the coolers, make sure that the coolers were on there well. So there's 2 tabs, and we spent quite a bit of money at the mechanical shop putting these coolers in. So this is going to offer long life to the engine. Another side view of these coolers. I have the same coolers in my car. You'll see these little tubes, the oil and transmission fluid is allowed to flow through these. These coolers are exceptional. This is the hot water tank with the new flooring. Was that new flooring? No, that's the original flooring. And this is before we painted it, but I wanted to give you a picture of the hot water tank. It's in really, really good shape. Now, on the 454 big block Chevy engines, they always suffered from heat, especially in an enclosed motorhome situation. And what would happen is, these are the original manifolds, what would happen is they would get so hot, the engine, that usually they would end up cracking these manifolds. There was quite a bit of a problem with that. We took these manifolds and this casing down to a place called Cool Coat. And they did the same treatment on the header of my car, and they promised that it was unbelievable. I think they promised a 300-degree different drop in temperature when they cool coated things. And what they did is they would sandblast inside these manifolds and outside, and then cool coat it. So what happens is when they sandblast it, they take off all the rough edges, and it gives you better power, better fuel economy, and cooler temperatures, because they get rid of all the rough edges when it goes into these plenums here. So I thought it was a really good, with the addition of the cool coating on the exhaust manifolds and the coolers on the engine, that engine will last a long time. Here's another look at the exhaust manifolds and one of the casings. Cool coating. I love cool coating. Revolutionary. Now you see, in these flanges, you can see that they got inside and they cool coated the inside as well, and they sandblasted there. So in many respects, your exhaust will flow better when it is cool coated, because of all of the rough edges have now it's like a metal on top where it smooths out the rough edges. Again, here's another picture of the manifolds. A lot of people don't think about heat in these big 454s, but that's the biggest enemy of the engine. Now, what we've done is we've just prolonged the life of this engine by putting the cool coat on the manifolds and running synthetic oil, AMS oil, and also running the coolers. I wanted to give you a picture of the original tank. See, they're in absolute beautiful condition. They look like they came out of the factory. They're untouched. This is the oven. Look at that. I think we've only used it once, and we didn't even get it dirty, so we've cleaned it out a couple of times. When we first got it, we cleaned it all out, and it wasn't dirty at that point. It was very, very clean as well, so it looks like it's never been used. Here is the original wood right here. You see the beauty of the wood? These are the seats. These are the back seats for the motorhome, and under here is the storage. So you have your water tank and your fuel tanks and stuff, and then we put doors here. But you see how what great shape the wood's in? Completely dry. That's beautiful shape. Here is the stove top and the oven. It's got a black finish to it, like a plexiglass finish, but look at how good it looks next to the white. It's just really, that color scheme really works. Here are the two switches that we had wired in. T is for transmission and E is for engine oil. So this one is for your propane. Out for propane, or sorry, out for gas, in for propane. And also you have a switch over here, main and auxiliary for your gasoline. This has a dual system where it runs on propane as well. There are 5 50-pound tanks there, so you've got 250 pounds of propane tanks. Okay. Let's take a look before and after. You're going to really enjoy this because we spent a lot of time and effort in this. Full screen. Now, take a look at the upper left-hand corner right where my mouse is, and I'll turn your attention over here to the wall. See how dark that is? And see, and take a look at the cabinets up here, right where my mouse is. They're dark, and they almost, it's so dark you can't even see the definition of the cabinets. Go down to the picture down here. You see how that yellow just picks up the color, the yellow and then the white? It is just absolutely gorgeous, and the white cabinets up here, it really made a stunning difference. Over here on the upper right-hand corner, you can see the fridge. Now, since we have put in black plexiglass here to match the stove here, and you see how this brown is, that dark brown, made a huge difference. When you take a look at the picture down here, lower right-hand corner, you'll see the fridge, black plexiglass, and right over across from it is black plexiglass on the oven. You'll see this is beautifully done in yellow. Up here is yellow as well. We took these 3 bars out. You see these 3 bars? They weren't doing anything, and they dated the motorhome. So we just took them out, painted them, and then we've got white cabinetry right here. It is just such a difference. Here's a picture of the black plastic or black plexi on the fridge. Now, we've just replaced the fridge a couple of years ago, and we've only used it a few hours. The fridge cost $2,000. We have all the receipts. Here you go. Brand new floor where my mouse is. Brand new paint on the cabinets, and brand new yellow over here. Doesn't that make a great difference? Oh, by the way, did you notice the brand new gray carpet over here? It picks up from the flooring. This is indoor-outdoor, multi-wear. It'll wear for years for you. Now, look at this. When you take a look at the difference between the old dark brown interior and this, it's stunning. It's like it's a brand new motorhome. So now you have beautiful white cabinets here, and it turns into a white ceiling. Gorgeous sun gold yellow here, and all throughout the motorhome. It's a beautiful thing. And to show you the difference, this is the old cabinet. The old color. What a difference, eh? There is the old corner. And there's the old color, the original color of the motorhome and the cabinets. There's an after shot. There is sitting in the center of the table looking toward the driver. It looks a lot bigger inside now that we've got the yellow and the white. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Job well done. There's another angle of the white and the yellow. Now keep in mind, this is a motorhome from 1981. There's another shot. Notice when I take my mouse over here, I went down and I got some aluminum angles, and we screwed them into the walls here to prevent them from, if you ever smash into anything, you won't hurt the wall. You just smash into aluminum angle iron. So we just drilled in there and put caps there, and I put them in a couple of places. There's another view from the left-hand side of the table. And here's another view from the right-hand side of the table. Again, notice that plexiglass, black plexiglass on the fridge with the yellow. It just looks gorgeous. on the road. Now, this is my car. Notice we have the exact same cooler in my car than we have in the motorhome. Tell you a little story about oil. When you're sitting there idling your car in traffic, the temperature in Fahrenheit will get over 212, and that is the boiling point of water. And as soon as oil gets over the boiling point of water, it starts to break down. Lots of people's oil will go 250, 260 to 270 to 280. When it gets like that, that's the reason you have to change your oil so often, because A, thermal breakdown, B, it gets dirty, C, it just can't stand those temperature extremes. When you have a cooler like this, you can virtually see from inside the cab what temperature your oil is running at. And then when you turn the fan on these coolers, you can literally watch the temperature drop. In this car, in my little Honda, my Civic, my oil temperature has never, ever, ever gone over 180 degrees Fahrenheit. This motor should last hundreds of thousands of miles. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if I get 800 to 900,000 miles, not K, but miles out of this motor. So I'm a huge believer in synthetic oil. So there's a close-up of the motor up close. And you see the detail of there it is. There's that cooler again, that same oil cooler. Now, just one of these coolers will cool a motorhome up to 30,000 pounds. That's a huge motorhome. This motorhome that you're looking at is nowhere near 30,000 pounds. But I've added two. I've added one for the engine oil and one for the automatic transmission fluid. So you're never going to have a heat issue. If you go up to Coquihalla, throw on both fans. Oh, and I've also put an additional large fan there as well to cool the radiator. So there's my father with his motorhome after it's all said and done, after we polished it and sanded it and painted it and cleaned it up. We put it on the road, and there he is. And there he is enjoying his first meal inside the motorhome. He took it down to the Fraser River. There's another shot. What a great looking motorhome on the inside. Just fantastic. And there's a shot of my car. The car that I love so much. All right. Now, let's talk about lubricants. I only put AMSOIL in that motorhome, period. I will not spin a wheel without using the best AMSOIL out there. And for this 454 engine, it we put in the 2050 synthetic premium protection. This is the best oil you can buy, period. And look at this, motorhomes. Synthetic oil for your motorhome. So I use nothing but AMSOIL in all of our cars. So that's it, folks. It's a beautiful motorhome.